Hello viewers and welcome to the latest episode of The Huddle. I'm Tim Poole, editor of Gambling Insider, and I'm here with Tom Banks, head of corporate affairs at Kindred Group. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah, we're here at the Kindred Sustainable Gambling Conference. To start off with, can you tell us a little bit about the event and how it's going so far and maybe what's to come as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're in our seventh year of running the Sustainable Gambling Conference. It's grown every year. It's a really, really important event for us. I think it's for a few reasons. I think it's really good for us to bring the sector together, not just operators, but people will see throughout the day. We've got lived experience. We've got experts from outside the sector around kind of affordability and other solutions, and so it's a really good day for us to bring everybody together, have conversations, network as we do at these things around the edges. And it's, we know from the growth of the event over the last 7 years that people find it useful. We hope they still do. And yeah, it's great to see so many, familiar faces across the sector and new ones too. And yeah, we're having a really good day, and it's really important for us to do it as part of our, sustainability strategy, as part of our journey towards zero. This fits really nicely and always has done in terms of that. And selfishly, it's great to be having it in the UK and at such an amazing venue as the Oval. Mm-hmm. We literally have the cricket pitch just out there, so it's great to be.
Yeah, with the players training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we last spoke. We last had an interview at the Regulator the Game in London in September. A lot has obviously happened since then. For Kindred, you had the FDJ offer. We've got new CEO leadership as well. As head of corporate affairs, as someone at this an organisation going through a lot of change at the moment, what's it been like for you the last few months?
Yeah, no, look, lots of change. I think this is a sector that has a lot of change anyway, and I think over the last few years, both in the UK but lots of markets across Europe, we are seeing change. Look, we're really positive. The offer from Francis Tiger is obviously ongoing, and we see, as has been published in a lot of the kind of public communication, there's a lot of synergy there. I think if the deal goes through, it will be a really exciting opportunity for Kindred to continue its kind of positive trajectory. And so really excited by that. I need to polish up on my French. I do speak a bit, but polish up a little bit more. And yeah, the business more broadly, regulatory change, obviously across Europe, the UK. Obviously, we're here today, going through a lot of regulatory change as part of the white paper, and yeah, we're seeing a lot of positive things, and we're growing as a business, and we're going in the right direction, and it's positive stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say your pronunciation of the company name was quite good actually for a non-French speaker. Obviously, you mentioned the white paper, and I think possibly the last time we spoke, and I've done this a few times with different guests, sort of said, how long can we go without mentioning the white paper in the UK, because it's obviously top of the agenda.
5 minutes for us?
Yeah. But can you, broadly speaking, can you give us from the operator point of view, kind of where you're at now and what your kind of impressions and views are as a company of the latest developments with the white paper?
Yeah, well, I think we're imminently going to get the Commission's response to the financial risk check consultation and the marketing opt-in. So I think that will happen. That they've committed sort of to by the end of the month, I think. So we'll get that imminently, and so really looking forward to seeing that. I think obviously we've had the slot stake limit decision, so that will be implemented in September. But beyond that, obviously we still have consultations that have just closed on some of the kind of incentives and mandatory kind of RG tools. And I think there's still probably more to run on some of the other ones. So we've contributed to the consultations. We continue conversations with the government, with regulators, with the trade association, and we're kind of trying to play our part in contributing to the conversation. But other than the slot stake limit, we're kind of still really kind of waiting for some clarity, I suppose, on where we're going. And I think that's important, I think, now. But clearly, and I know you'll hear this from other operators, but the frictionless pilot and the affordability framework, that's one of the most important to get right. And if that takes a little bit longer for us to make sure that we go through a good pilot stage and get that right, then so be it, right? Like, it's so important that we get that right. So, we've got a long way to go still. I think I was always of the view that the white paper being published was obviously a moment to be relieved that it's finally there, but it was actually just firing the starting gun on a lot of process to actually bring the policies to life and to bring them into regulation.
Yeah, is there anything that could be done sort of better or smoother in this process? Because you mentioned obviously maybe clarity and speed of process, but or is that it's essentially an inevitability with something so this complex?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, the important thing is to get it right, and I think the key of a white paper is that it kind of lays out where the government wants to go, but it's sort of for the regulator, government and operators and others to kind of then iron out exactly how that looks, because there is still quite a bit of complexity to get through, and I think that's not just on affordability but on some of the marketing changes, some of the incentives, free bets and bonuses. Like it's actually quite complex, and but it's all good and important that we update the rules and get to a place where we are in a strong regulatory framework, and we continue to support the process, but it's hard to speed it along too much, partly because this process takes a long time and needs to be done in the right way, and so that's important. It gives us space and time to contribute properly as well, which we need to do as a sector.
Yeah, a couple more areas for you, and on a related note, the Gambling Commission has I think it's definitely increased its kind of dialogue and its engagement with the industry, so much so that Andrew Rhodes was on a video interview with me recently. He says that they're talking to media, they're talking to operators. At the Betting Gaming Council AGM, he spoke, which was the first time a Gambling Commission CEO has spoken. I thought he came across very well, quite firm but fair. Is that the kind of impression you're getting from the Gambling Commission at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think that kind of dialogue is really important, and we have seen from the creation of an industry forum that's will have its first meeting imminently, and I think that dialogue's critical for the sector to engage properly with the regulator. And I think where we can look at how other regulators and operators and businesses deal with each other, so whether that's banking sector with the FCA and ones like that, we want to try and learn from where they have good collaborative dialogue, 'cause that's the best way to go about it, right? Like we want to make sure that we're in a space where we can have kind of constructive conversations with the regulator, where we have questions, where we seek clarity. So we've all noticed the increasing collaborative nature of people like Andrew and Tim Miller as well, who we see out and about, and it's great because it's good to hear what they have to say. It's good to hear their views on what they think. And I think you're right about the AGM at the BGC. Like, firm but fair is totally right for a regulator. They have to take that approach, and so we've welcomed it, and long may it continue that there's that kind of approach to dialogue and approach to communication with the sector.
Yeah, a final question from me. You mentioned the journey to zero, the road to zero. We spoke about it obviously a few months ago as well. I mean, obviously that's a general concept anyway, but is there anything coming out of the white paper in the UK that is perhaps affecting that journey? And obviously there's kind of recently been a lot of discussion about data interpretation, especially with sort of problem gambling rates as well.
Yeah, so I think most of the changes that we see coming through from the white paper will only have if they're implemented in the right way, will have a positive effect on that journey. And we're seeing steady, slow but steady progress in the journey, which always is going to be the case. But we think that good regulatory change will only help. And so, whether that's changes to limits or, some of the things around the affordability framework, like that's only gonna, if it's implemented properly, will only have a positive effect, I think. So, really supportive of the process. I think, we continue to make good and steady progress on the journey towards zero. And I think actually, to bring it full circle, events like today are key to that, where we, learn and shape what we're trying to do as a result of, we have a lived experience panel that was presenting today, and I think their views and views of others is vital to understand like what we can do different and tweak and tailor to make sure that we're on the right path. Yeah,
that rounded picture obviously kind of operates the regulators that lived experience as well. I suppose it's an equal voice from all parties, really.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we don't have all the answers. And, we have a lot of technology and data and evidence to provide to the conversation and to provide to the solution, but we can't do it on our own. And it requires, good regulation, but also really valid and, positive input from people who have been through harm related to gambling. And so all of those things put together can help us make progress.
Yeah. Well, Tom, thank you very much for your time as always, and I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thanks for watching.